What do I say to overweight people when they complain about being fat? What sort of complaint is it? I hate being fat. Yeah, it must be really hard. I can't do X because I'm too fat. Maybe we can do Y instead. Look at me, I'm so fat and ugly. When I look at you, I just think what a great friend I have. You don't have to argue with them. Don't agree with them either. And don't give unsolicited advice. If you can't think of anything good to say, just ignore it and say nothing. If you can think of something kind to say, say that. Hi, so fat, I'm Dad. They're just griping. They aren't looking for advice or even sympathy. To have a serious conversation about being fat, health, weight loss. Just blow it off. I know exactly 5 fat people and you're 4 of them. It's friends, family, but I always say, I'm sorry you're feeling bad about yourself today. I think you're a beautiful person. And I love you. Wanna hug? Quote. Just ignore it entirely. If it is not a direct question, it does not require an answer. Contrary to popular belief, saying nothing to the person you are listening to is better than trying to say something or to show your sympathy towards them. In fact, being sympathetic may prevent them from expressing themselves. Therefore, what I do myself in such a situation is listening while making eye contact and without making any comments. Instead of saying, no, you're not, or just work out and eat healthy, I'd rather validate that yes, they're unhappy about their weight, and also yes, that losing that weight will be incredibly hard. Doable, but very hard. It's always hard to change your routine completely, especially the beginning. So yes, bad situation. Sorry to hear that you're so unhappy. Most people actually don't want advice. They just want to release their unhappiness for a few minutes and hope for someone to listen to all of it. You won't be able to motivate them with just one magical sentence. If you just tell them to change, they'd rather think that it's easy for you to say since you're not in their position. But if you want to do something more than just listening, you could always ask why they think that they wouldn't be able to change and go through the things they were able to do so far in their life with them. One time I felt awkward when a girl said this in HS to me and I was like, have you tried dieting? Just as thing that came out when my brain was grasping at straws. And I remember getting some reprimanding looks, comments, and I was like, okay, that's a bad response, I guess. I still don't know what a good one is. But that's a bad one. I will say, come on now. Don't be so critical of yourself. We all have flaws. Sure, they may be overweight, but there's no need to talk bad about yourself. As a person that complains about my weight, I would love to hear someone just once say to me, I personally don't care about that, but you have 2 options. Become the person you want to be or learn to love how you are. I can help. I can support, and yeah, it's okay to complain about it sometimes. A lot of people in this chat, in my opinion, are making overweight people feel like heartless aliens that just want a yes man. There's going to be people like that, and there's going to be people that genuinely need to vent. Meet me at the gym, I will show you the way. A friend of mine is 5 foot 7 inches and was pushing 370 pounds. When she kept making fishing comments like this, I eventually said something to the effect of, yes, you are. Do you want to stay that way? If yes, then don't fish for people to lie to you and say you aren't. If you don't want to stay that way, then the first steps are to cut out a majority of the sugar you eat. And cut out the fast food. Eat more vegetables and less carbs. Do that for a year and see where you are at. She was offended at first, but we were good enough of friends that a little while later she took my advice. After a year she was down to 340 pounds. She decided to stick to it, and started doing low-impact cardio, swimming specifically. Now, 5 years later, she is close to 220 pounds and repeatedly says she enjoys her life so much more. There's no need to be an asshole to someone fishing for compliments like this. But sometimes polite but tough truths can make a huge positive difference. It all depends on the relationship you have with the person, as well as coming from a place of love, not judgment. If it is someone you think will lash out at you if you give them weight loss advice, you can just tell them you are not comfortable discussing other people's bodies and that it is something they should discuss with their significant other or their doctor. I hope this helps. It's a trap. Nothing, it's not your problem. Don't say anything, to be honest. I think one of the hardest things for people to learn is empathy. I know it was for me. In fact, it's something I didn't realize I wasn't getting from conversations till I was in my 30s. Typically when people complain, they are simply looking to feel understood. I think one of the worst responses is to say, "Oh yeah, you can lose weight by working out." Or, "You aren't fat." Quote, they aren't stupid, and these responses don't make them feel heard. They might say, "Being this fat sucks. It's embarrassing and don't know what to do." Then you might try, "Yeah, it's hard living with some conditions we find hard to change about ourselves." It's a simple response that confirms their struggle. You aren't giving them a solution. They aren't asking for one. You'd be surprised how good it can feel just to be heard. And sometimes that's the support we need to make the changes we need to. I'm fat, and it's entirely my fault because my diet isn't better. I sometimes make statements like, "I can't do that. I'm far too fat," and when I do, I'm not really looking for feedback. Just making a statement. But if I did stare expectantly at my friends waiting for a reply, I can tell you now I'd probably get back, "I know. I'm waiting for your acting career to get a big boost when you get cast as the boulder in the new Indiana Jones," or, "That's what I was feeling earlier, thought it was an earthquake." Fat people, the reasonable ones anyway, know their size is their own doing and they don't expect anyone to tell them otherwise. It isn't magic. We didn't just wake up this way one day. We got fat slowly over time, and we know why chocolate cake is just too damn yummy. Just say, "It's hard." I am not self-deprecating, but I'll state that I'm fat because I am. I realize there aren't too many appropriate responses. No one in that moment wants diet or exercise advice. Nor should you deny the obvious. Saying it's hard is non-judgmental. It also states the obvious. It is hard when you really like food but don't move enough to burn it off. It is simple but hard. Say mean thing. Get up. Walk across the room. Say, "Come and get me." Quote. Repeat until they are no longer fat.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.